Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Machin Vayera Online Smicha. This upcoming Sunday is Lag BaOmer, a special Yom Tov, and it's always in proximity to the Parshas Bahar, Chakaisai. The Kriyas HaTorah is set up in a very systematic way. Certain Parshas have to be read before a certain Yom Tov. So it's always in proximity to Parshas Bahar. Now, there's the well-known Shaila. Rabbi Akiva is the one that champions the great statement, and yet his Talmidim, 24,000 of his Talmidim, were punished, Rachman al-Atzlan, because leinagu kaved zeh lezeh. And obviously this is a lot to talk about. The Rebbe has a lot of explanations on this topic, what actually it means. But just to show, to use the English expression, that the apple didn't fall too far from the trunk, one of Rabbi Akiva's prime students was Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, the one we're celebrating his yahrzeit on Sunday. And I want to quote two of the Maimorei Chazal that Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai instituted or championed, and you'll see that he also had that theme of Ahavas Yisrael. And they're both in the Gemara Bab Metzia, Daf Nun Tes Amid Aleph, and Daf Nun Ches Amid Beis, and Nun Tes Amid Aleph. We'll start with the second one first, just to show you how the care of another Yid was engraved in Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, obviously as a student Rabbi Akiva too. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai says, a person should rather be pushed in or jump in to a burning fire, and don't allow yourself to do something that will embarrass a fellow Yid in public. And they bring a raya from Tamar, that even though Tamar had all the rights to say out in public that Yehuda is the one that's in trouble, but by saying that she would embarrass Yehuda, she was ready to make believe that she doesn't know who it is, and she would be getting the punishment, being a bas kohen of sreifa, God forbid, of being burned. And from there you learn, you'd rather allow yourself to be killed, burned in the fire, before embarrassing another Yid. You see the care for another Yid from Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. The Mishnah in Bab Metzia, Daf Nun Ches Amid Beis, speaks about the Isser Einah. The Isser Einah is two parts to the Isser, and that's why I started off the shir by saying they're both discussed in proximity to Lag BaOmer in this week's Parsha, in Parshas Bahar. Now everybody makes a big fuss that the story of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, how he ran to the cave, is in Gemara Shabbos Daf Lamed Gimel. Lag. Here you see a halacha that Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai made a big fuss about. It's always in the parsha that's near Lag BaOmer. And Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai says that Gadol Einas Dvarim Me'anas Mamain, meaning to say, cheating a person. The pasuk says two psukim in Parshas Bahar. In Perek Chav Hey, pasuk Yud Daled, it says, "V'chisimkru mimkar lamisecha." When you're selling something, buying or selling, al toinu ishas achiv. You're not allowed to cheat, overprice or whatever. That's as Rashi says, that is einas mamain. That's the isser of cheating, gouging, business issues. But 3 psukim later, in pasuk Yud Zayin, over there it says, "V'lo yisoinu ish asamisoi." Don't harm or don't trick your friend. And Rashi says right away, over here, hizir aleinas dvarim. Over here, it's not anymore about cheating, financial money loss, tricking. This is actually making a person feel bad, or being a two-faced, being bluff in what you are saying. Now this is all the Gemara in Masechet Bab Metzia, but Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai is the one that says that Gadol Einas Dvarim, between these two, Einas Dvarim is worse than Einas Mamay. And the Alter Rebbe brings this in Hilchas Einav V'Gnevas Das, Sif Chav Zayin. The Alter Rebbe says, why is Einas Devarim worse? Shazum Nitna L'Hishavim. Because when you cheat money, you can always give back. When you hurt somebody, it's Zu Lo Nitna L'Hishavim. You hurt somebody, he got hurt, you can't take that back. Another difference is Zu B'Mamayna. This one, you hurt somebody's money. When you hurt somebody's spirit, you hurt him physically. And the Alter Rebbe concludes by saying in that sif, he quotes from the Rambam and the Shulchan Aruch, Hatzoyek al Einas Devarim, you should know, if you hurt somebody verbally, and he cries out to the Eibishter, you should know that person's cry is Na'ina Miyad. He gets answered right away. Lefishi Tsar Halev, because that's a pain, an inner pain. V'karev al demois, and a person could cry from it. A person loses money, you don't find him crying so much. When a person, you break his spirit, you break his innards, tears, and tears is something that talks Lamaila very fast. And that's why actually the last sif in this conversation, in Sif Lamed Beis, Alter Rebbe says you have to be most careful of not being hurtful to your wife, because since she cries, women cry right away, God forbid, the punishment for that comes faster. A tear, a cry of a yid has a very strong effect. And Alter Rebbe flips it around. Alter Rebbe concludes by saying that therefore be very, very careful honoring, respecting your wife, because as Chazal told us, if you show honor and respect to your wife, you will kadesh it to sashu, you'll become rich. So verbal speaking to another yid is something that Shimon ben Yochai was very, very makbid. He says even greater than cheating. Now the Gemara over there brings many, many examples what that is, and actually Rashi, the Chumash, says an example that's not even mentioned in the Gemara. But I want to quote one example, because I find that this is something that many have a problem with. One example that the Alter Rebbe quotes, and this is an example that if you say something which seems to be harmless, just a random topic, but by that random conversation, somebody's going to get hurt. What is it? Says the Alter Rebbe, let's say you're having a discussion. And let's say there's a teacher and student, and there's a good question that came up, a good discussion that came up, an intellectual conversation. Don't address this topic to somebody that you know that it's way above his pay grade. That meaning to say he has no clue what you're talking about. What are you doing? You're asking him something like as if you care for his opinion, when you know that he has no clue. Says the Alter Rebbe, in the Sha'ala Sha'ala B'Dvar Chachma, if an intellectual question came up, don't approach the Lamisha Eni Yedeya Ba'isa Chachma. If you know this particular kid or this particular adult has no idea what you're talking about, don't ask him, hey, ma tashi b'davazeh? What do you think about this question? You have an opinion? Or ma daitcha b'davazeh? Says the Alter Rebbe, doing that, hein tsar halei. You're causing anguish by this person. Even though you didn't call him any names, that's obviously worse. But nevertheless, it's something that's called a nas dvarim. Can you imagine? And a nas dvarim is a terrible lav. The Alter Rebbe goes on to say that just obviously there's a lav a nas dvarim. If you do that to a ger, there is 3 lavim. There's a ger that, as being a regular yid with the Isra Noah doesn't apply, where Yisra Noah applies, and a ger is a special lav. So you have 3 lavim to trick a ger. Now there is a beautiful Minchas Chinuch. Minchas Chinuch in Mitzvah Samach Daled, he says, besides for the fact there is a special mitzvah, special issue for the ger, there's another issue. By the yid it says, Lo yisaynu es hamisay. Don't cheat or don't trick your peer, somebody who behaves like you. And that's why halachically somebody who's misbehaving